I have 3 questions about the Denver Nuggets, and if the answers to these 3 questions are wrong, their season is over on Thursday night. What are the questions? I'll tell you in 5 seconds. All right, Nuggets Nation, now with our favorite basketball team staring at a 3-2 hole and their season possibly coming to an end tomorrow night at home. How do they avoid just that? How do they survive and advance to game number 7, which would be back in Oklahoma City? But we know that the Nuggets can win there because they already have. So, question number 1, yeah, you're right. It's the elephant in the room. Everybody's talking about it in Nuggets Nation. And that question is, what does David Adelman do with Michael Porter Jr.? Michael Porter Jr. is dealing with a left shoulder injury. You've seen it. I said it before. He's got that weird like diaper looking thing on his shoulder. All right, I'll get this out of the way for all of you MPJ supporters. I get it. He's so tough. He's so strong. He's a big man, right? Playing through his injury, all good, whatever. You know how many people play through injuries in professional sports? And I've got a hard rule when it comes to injuries and players playing through them. Sure, you get a little bit of credit for being a big tough guy. I get that. But when you put that jersey on, you take the jersey, right? And you're injured. When you put that jersey on and you step foot onto the field, the diamond, the ice, the hardwood, whatever it is that we're talking about, that injury goes out the window. That excuse is no longer legitimate. So you can give him some credit for being a tough guy, but you can't give him a pass for being a bad basketball player because he's decided to play injured. And I'm not doing that for Michael Porter Jr. I hope you're not doing it either. So here's what the question is for David Adelman. What do? You continue to roll out a guy that can't make jump shots, that can't rebound, and if a 6'10" basketball player who's known for his jump shooting ability can't make jump shots or can't rebound, tell me exactly what it is you do here, sir. I have that question for Michael Porter Jr. Now, to have a little sympathy and empathy for a guy like David Adelman, what the heck is he supposed to do? Michael Porter Jr. is absolutely awful. He's terrible. He's a huge part of the reason that the Denver Nuggets have lost 2 straight games and now stare at a 3-2 deficit against the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. But Coach Adelman, his options are more Russell Westbrook. I get it. That's terrifying. And I'm the Westbrook guy. I'm Mr. Russell Westbrook. I think I was the only one. Me and Nikola Jokic were the only ones that wanted him to be on this basketball team. Now, Russ has been fine, played solid defense. That game last night, he shot 2 of the worst air balls I've ever seen in my entire life. You see an air ball in the NBA, they're usually way short, and occasionally, we've seen this last 2 Nuggets games, over the rim. Russell Westbrook had 2 air balls last night. I'm laughing so I don't cry. That he wasn't short or over. He was left 6 feet of the rim. Twice he airballed like that. I've never seen it. And I play in 40 and over basketball leagues, and I've never seen that before. It was absolutely pathetic. So that's option 1, more Russ. Who wants that? I guarantee you nobody's hands raised right now as you stare at your computer screen or cell phone screen. More Russ is not the option. And I'm the Russ guy. It's not the option. The next one is Peyton Watson. You want Peyton Watson? Is he a better defender and rebounder than Michael Porter Jr.? Yeah, absolutely. But Peyton Watson can't hit the broadside of a barn shooting the basketball. I'm not sure he could throw a basketball at a fish in water. This dude just doesn't have it. Plays with some energy, plays with heart and effort, and I appreciate that. But he has no offensive ability. He is zero of a threat on the offensive end. And a team that already wants to create this wall and double or triple team Nikola Jokic, if you put Peyton Watson out there and ask him to go stand in the corner and try to stretch the floor the way that Michael Porter Jr. could when his arm wasn't broken, OKC's going to laugh in your face, and that defender that's supposed to be playing the corner on P-Watt just becomes a secondary defender and almost the ball denier for entry passes to Nikola Jokic. So Peyton Watson, that's not that great of an answer either. Russell Westbrook, absolutely terrifying to think they need more of Russell Westbrook. The only other option is Julian Strother. And, I'll give Julian a little bit of credit. He's a turnstile on the defensive side, but last night he got 10 minutes. And the first 3 or 4 minutes, I was actually pretty impressed with the kid. He came in, caught a three, and turned kind of coming off of a little curl. And to his credit, to have the confidence, his shoulders were square, his feet were planted, and he jumped up and took a very solid jump shot from beyond the arc and knocked it down. That, the kind of confidence that he had in that shot in that moment, if he showed more of that, he'd be a part of the playoff rotation, even if he is an awful defender. Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. are awful defenders, but their offensive ability allows them to be on the floor. So I guess at this point, it's like, hey, pick your poison, Nuggets Nation. Tell me in the comments, is it Russ? Is it Michael? Or is it, is it Russ? Is it Peyton Watson? Or is it Julian Strother for Michael if David Adelman decides that he's on a very short leash or flat out decides not to play him? It's not Russ for me. I'm torn a little bit between, do I pick Peyton Watson or do I pick Julian Strother? And honestly, I feel like this is a little bit of a cop-out, and I'm sure you'll let me know. It's kind of both. Right? Like the 20-something minutes that Michael would get, maybe it's an extra 10, 8-ish for a Julian, an extra 8-ish for a Peyton Watson, and then, maybe 4 or something more than what Russell Westbrook would normally play. Because if Julian's making a couple of shots, well, you'll live with the inability on the defensive end. If Peyton Watson's slowing down SGA or chasing around Alex Caruso, who comes in and kills the Nuggets off the bench and slowing him down, but missing a couple of jump shots and not taking too many, yeah, you'll live with that too. So my answer lies somewhere in the middle. But if you tell me, hey, you got to make a decision right now. All right, Peyton Watson. It would be Peyton Watson, and I'm not thrilled about that. But the reason I would pick Peyton Watson to replace Michael Porter Jr. is because Jamal Murray should be a much more efficient scorer. Jamal was great in the first 3 quarters. He's one of my questions that we're going to get to. Disappeared in the fourth. If he can just play consistently through the game, you would need Peyton Watson to score a little bit more. Joker returned to form, and I assume he's going to continue to do that now that he's figured out the formula that OKC's throwing at him. AG and Christian Brown, you just got to get them to 16 plus. Score 16 or more. Anything else is icing on the cake. So if Jamal's efficient, Joker's Joker, and you can get 30 to 32 points combined out of Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown, you don't need Peyton Watson to be this dynamic scorer and be what Michael Porter Jr. was. So there's my answer. It's Peyton Watson, but there are the Joker caveat, the Jamal caveat, the Aaron caveat, and the Christian caveat that all go with that answer. Peyton Watson for Michael Porter Jr. if David Adelman decides it's a very short leash or he's just taking his jersey from him entirely. Question number 2. I mentioned Jamal Murray there. Can somebody tell me where playoff Jamal is? Is he going to show up? He showed up once, right? He had that 43-point game against the Clippers, game 6. I don't remember what game it was. They all run together at this point. He was outstanding in that game. And I don't want to take away the first 3 quarters of last night, but how good he was in the 3 quarters and then how bad he was in the 4th quarter, it's almost a wash for me. You can't be that inefficient. You can't score 28 points on 27 shots. Here's another number for the Jamal fans and stands out there. You know what Jamal was last night? Wide open shots, which the NBA says the closest defender is more than 6 feet away from you. That means you're wide open, and you are wide open if someone's 6 feet away from you. On those shots, when you're wide open, according to NBA standards, Nikola Jokic passed Jamal Murray a basketball 11 times in that situation where the closest defender was further than 6 feet away. In those 11 times when Joker passed Jamal the basketball, you know how many shots Jamal made of those 11? 3. 3 for 11 in the passes from Joker to Jamal, where Jamal was wide open and had a jump shot. He was 3 for 11. That's just not good enough for a max player. I'm sorry. I know a lot of you look at me as a Jamal hater. Sorry that I have standards. You should raise yours. Jamal hasn't been good enough outside of that one game. His scoring numbers have been great, but don't be a box score basketball fan. That's the laziest version of a fan you can be. Watch the games. He's inefficient. And if playoff Jamal does not show up Thursday night, this is a wrap for the Denver Nuggets. If he shows up Thursday night and not Sunday when they play Game 7, it's a wrap for the Denver Nuggets. Joker can be outstanding. If they don't get playoff Jamal in game 6 and 7, they're going home before we get back to work next week. Question number 3, David Adelman. Where you at, Nuggets fan, with Coach Adelman? Interim status right now. Has he done enough to take that interim status off of his title? I'm not sure he has for me. I kind of looked at this, and I was telling Zach By on our radio show. By the way, you should always check out the radio station. Cecil Lamb and I do our thing from 10 to 2 over on 104.3 The Fan, and we'd love to hear from you guys. I look at what David Adelman has done, and I say, you're an interim coach. You're the son of a coach. You've been an assistant for a very long time. You've been a lead assistant for a very long time. You're looked at as a guy that's going to get a head coaching opportunity sooner rather than later. But right now, has he done enough to be the head coach of the Denver Nuggets? The answer is no. The answer is absolutely no for me. I got on Coach Michael Malone because of lack of adjustments. You know what Coach Michael Malone's biggest adjustment was? Yeah, Joker played 36 last night. We're struggling this time. He's going to play 40 tonight. Malone's adjustments was just play Joker more. And when he got fired and Adelman got the interim role, I thought to myself, oh, this will be fun to watch who David Adelman is as a coach and how different he might be than Michael Malone. You know what the answer is? He's not different. He doesn't have any different adjustments. He's Michael Malone light. And is that really going to get this team over the hump? Is that really going to repair the culture that both Calvin Booth, Michael Malone, and Josh Kroenke let crumble with this basketball team? No, it's not. David Adelman's not the one. He's not the coach. He's not the savior for this franchise. And now I'm not sure who that is yet. I'll do a whole bunch of research once this season is over, and I'll do my due diligence, my homework, and I promise I will have an answer for you at some point when this season comes to an end. But it is not David Adelman. So my 3 big questions: what do you do if you're David Adelman with Michael Porter Jr.? I told you my answer is Peyton Watson, and I don't feel good about it. But of the options, I think he is the best one. Where's Jamal Murray been? That's question number 2. Playoff Jamal? I've seen him once. What have you seen? And then last but certainly not least, question number 3, has David Adelman done enough in your eyes to be the head coach of the Denver Nuggets? I say no, he has not. Can't wait for game 7. We'll see what they can do in game 6 to force that game 7 on Sunday. I think this thing goes 7 games, and let's see who the best team is Sunday afternoon. This has been Dover on Denver, and now I'm done.